had come at my home that time, Nana. I hope it's not a sister me. That lady take her just come at my home late these days. Yes, who is it? Oh boy. Look, my cross is tonight there.
What? Grab your lace jackets, you already know. We're about to dig into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, Sakafet. Hope everybody's doing well. To all my subscribers, thank you guys so much. And if you're new to this channel, welcome, darling. Judging by the title, the intro, you already know what we're gonna talk about. It's just gonna be gossiping. Like, I bet you. This is the tease. What do they call it? Tease. Let's talk about, I don't know. These days, gossip seem to be switching sides. Like, there is good gossip, there is bad gossip. I myself don't know. Like, we starting to define and change so many things. It is what it is. You already know. We're just merging reality with biblical facts, and we're just gonna tackle it to overcome every struggle that we face on a day-to-day basis.
Auntie, where you come out? You come out and dive, man. Hey, what is all that?
How are you, sister? Good night.
Hi, good night. What is all that story?
Yes, sister. What does say? Coronavirus.
What?
Oh, I'm making sure I don't get corona. You see a rapper boy?
Yeah, they say it bad, but
Yeah, but sister.
it's true.
So you say go pass for your eyes.
What?
So that's why.
For your eyes? Where you hear that? I never hear that.
Because I don't get coronavirus like that.
Okay, Auntie May. Where you coming out from?
Well, there's a Bible study that come out there. I don't see that Bible study, so I say, let me come and check on my sister boy.
Oh, that's nice of you.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's nice. I'm good. I'm well. I'm doing well.
You doing well?
Yes, I'm doing
Ah,
well.
boy, that is good. Boy, I just was wondering when you got church, boy, your Spirit was on fire. Your Spirit was moving. And it was at the day of Pentecost in the house of God today.
Oh, bless the Lord. I like to
when
hear
I
that.
got in the house, I was this morning and the Spirit of God, but this morning, and if I got it this morning.
Bless God. I like to hear
Yes,
that.
sister.
That's a blessing.
Yes, sister.
Yes, that's good.
Mhm.
So what brings you here?
Yes.
Why you come to my house that time?
I didn't finish up my speech there. I said, well, if I am my sister and I go and take a friend and I say that was my friend, I have to just pass by to just tell you that because I was
Tell
just
me
wondering,
what happened?
Who come those people can be filled the Holy Spirit and they're doing that kind of a thing?
Sister May, what happened?
Yes, sister. So after church when I was passing, I hear Auntie, I don't call you your name,
What?
but I hear somebody saying,
Who is this
say,
somebody?
Oh, yeah. Auntie Nana Power cousin tell them
What?
you and your husband doesn't agree.
Me?
And how you in church being a Christian, and you're not a believer, you're finishing God, and you're much like that.
Me?
Yes, sister.
Not me.
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, and I don't
Who
know
that
my
say
name,
that?
but it's your best friend, Sister Jane, that she has about you.
Sister Jane?
It's Sister Jane, my sister. Why did you say I don't want to lie to you? I wouldn't want to lie to you.
I don't believe that.
It's Sister Jane that is calling your name, telling everybody that you're that kind of person, you're not a nice person, all that. And I said, but I know you, and I know you're not that kind of person.
Exactly. My sister?
Oh yes, well, this is I can just advise you. Well, to pray about it. But just to go seek God and just leave God to just pray about it because it is a very serious thing. Very, very serious.
Well,
Okay,
thank
sister.
you, Auntie May, for having
No
my back.
problem.
Thank you very much for having my back.
Yes, I always have your back. I always have your back, sister. I'll forever have your back. No matter where I go, what I do, I will have your back.
Yeah, well,
Yes, sister.
I want to go to
Are
bed
you
right
want to
now.
sleep?
Yeah.
Okay,
'cause-
sister. But that's what Sister Jane was saying about you.
Okay,
And you should know I said what kind of thing is Sister Jane. I know she's your best friend, but you have to understand she's a Judas in your life.
Okay, Auntie May, I have work
Okay, you
tomorrow.
want to go and sleep?
Yes, so I have to
Okay,
go to bed.
sister.
So,
Where are you going there?
yes, so
Okay.
we will talk another time.
I have to go now.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
sister, I
Auntie.
go in there.
Okay,
Okay, bye-bye.
okay, bye-bye.
Okay, I go in.
Okay, bye.
I go in there, sister. Let me just, I won't bite them because you know this is what I was saying, I call you first. Pray for me as I go, sister. To cover me
Blessings.
under the blood of the Lamb.
Pray.
Thank you,
Blessings.
sister. Bye-bye.
Protection.
Okay.
Okay. That is what my best friend is saying about me. That is why you just cannot trust people, not even in church. That is why you just cannot trust people.
Now, I know the intro video is something that's very real, right? That you go through on a regular basis where people like time to time bring stories. I mean, don't watch me. Like, we have all been on this train, this gossip train. Either we have been on the victim side or the perpetrator side, or both. Most likely, mostly everybody have been on both. I mean, I have been on both. Like in high school times, like gossip, or like Beth, we used to call it, and like you want to hear what happened, the latest story, the latest deeds, and all of that. But like, I mean, let's be honest, we've all been on that train, and it gets more in depth where TV shows now, there are gossip TV shows. Gossip has become so integrated in our culture. It's almost as if, well, we're excited, man, you know, to hear the latest news or the latest story or the latest thing that they'll say, oh, that happened to her, for sure, mama, okay, I don't know, there's nobody tell her gonna do this, and like, it becomes a part of our culture, and it sometimes just like grabs onto you. But as a Christian, you already know, like, our culture is heavenly culture. This is not our home. We are children of light, and so we are guided by biblical principles, and so we're just gonna evaluate what the word of God has to say about gossiping. Now, I think one of the places you would find yourself struggling the most with gossiping is at work. Workplace gossip and drama. Abby? Jesus is needed for this one. Even at school, you know, gossiping leads to bullying, it leads to all other forms of things. I always say gossip starts somewhere. It takes somebody to spread it, but it also takes somebody to listen to the person who's spreading it. And that's what I think we have to guard ourselves as Christians. And many times we're placed in compromising situations, and we have the power to either allow that situation to overcome us or overcome that situation. And how we overcome that situation is how we deal with that situation at the time. So somebody comes to me and they're giving me this random story about somebody. Before I just believe the person, it doesn't matter if they're are the closest being to you, I think you should always give people the benefit of the doubt, because the intent in which the person was saying it was not the intent the person who is bringing it to you might be relaying that information to you. They will only give you the side of the story what the person was saying, but then they'll never give you the side of the story what they were saying. So like, you always get yourself mixed up sometimes in some kind of mess up situation where you end up losing friends. It's just like a cycle, sometimes family members, because this is their tongue. This tongue, no more mouths. Bible says life and death lies in the power of our tongue. But some people, some people's tongues are very heavy. It's carrying more than life and death. For every day there is a story on the tongue. Life, death, story. And like the Bible verses I came across was like, for example, we have Ephesians chapter 4 verses 29, and it says, let no corrupt talk come out from your mouths, but only such as is good for building up. Many times we say things and we don't realize that as Christians, whenever we speak, we ought to be edifying the person that we're speaking to. And the enemy oftentimes gets us into a jam and we don't see it, but like gossiping, it carries the lies, it carries hatred, and oftentimes it's backed up by hatred and jealousy. You know, like most times people want to spread discord and lies or stories. It's because most times they're jealous of the person, or they just hate the person for no reason. And again, we battle not against flesh and blood, right? This is a spiritual warfare. We ought not to see the people that are doing these things, but like the spirit that's behind it, and just pray for them. And so we have to ensure that out of our mouth come no corrupt talk. And like, just as we on this case, like, I can just say, like, it breaks my heart to see how people have no regard for like
the office people carry. Like, for example, if a pastor does something wrong, the kind of way, you know, Christian people sometimes would even speak about a man of God. You know, I personally, I don't care what these men may have done, where they may have faltered or they may have done something wrong. I am in no position to stand and talk about a man of God like this is not a servant of God. It's God to deal with his servants. But I personally, I feel it's disrespectful for me to be like, oh, that man not a man of God, or this man not. These people hold an office and you ought to have respect for the office that they're in because they are servants of God. And best believe it or not, they will face their fire when comes time if they are doing whatever they're accused of doing. But we as Christians, like, there are times we just need to be quiet. Do you hear that silence? I feel like we talk at the wrong times. You know, there are times we're supposed to talk, we're not talking, and there are times we just ought to be quiet and pray, and we don't. We just talk and make things just worse. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 28 also says, a dishonest man spreads strife and whisperer separates close friends. Now I have a video to do about friends. Annette, you want to see that video? We got when you break down that verse, it's talking about a dishonest man, which means whatever that person is carrying is a lie. The verse is basically using whisper because whenever you whisper something to somebody, they either don't hear you properly, you either have to repeat what you're saying, and in repeating what you're saying, you change the meaning. Whispering is such a strong verb to use for gossiping because this is exactly what happens with gossip. When a story moves on from one stage to another, it's never the same from where it began. Transmission in the process, and then something cuts off. Something cuts off. I don't know if you remember this game. We used to play this game where everybody would sit down in a circle and you would start talking in somebody's ears and you'd say something, and then you'd have to, the story has to go around the circle, and then when you reach to the end, the person has to say what the person at the beginning said, and it would never come back the same as what it began. For Proverbs to use the word close in front of friends should let you know the power behind of our tongue. That is why we have to be so careful what we say about people to other people. And even though somebody comes to us with a story about somebody else, we ought to be so careful how we respond, because you could be the instrument that the enemy is trying to use to bring separation and disunity. And we know unity, there is strength, and so the enemy always tries to attack unity. Proverbs chapter 6 verses 16 to 19 says, there are 6 things the Lord hates. Now that verse was very interesting because, again, it's not that the Lord hates you, he just hates these things. So don't get it wrong. This is 6 things that the Lord hates. It never says 6 people that the Lord hates, because the people, they are doing these things. The things that they're doing is what God hates. It's not that he hates the people that are doing these things. But anyhow, all the characteristics of the 6 things fits the enemy's description so perfectly. So perfectly. A haughty eyes, he was very jealous in heaven. That is why his eyes was burning him. He wanted to be worshipped. A lying tongue, he lied to Adam and Eve. That's why, honey, that's the fall of man. The hands that shed innocent blood, he continue. Bible say he's like a devourer. A heart that devises wicked plan. That's the man, breakfast, lunch, and supper. Like, feet that make haste to run evil. It's like both, but evil is the man. Like, that's what the man doing. A false witness who breathes out lies. He can't tell the truth. He legit breathes out lies, you know. The one who sows discord among his brothers. He caused 1/4 of the angels to go with him. They had unity, and like, all these characteristics fit the enemy's description. That's to let you know who's behind gossiping. Who's behind these things that God hates. It's him. If I give you a scenario, for example, and you were caught in a situation where you were the perpetrator, and when I say perpetrator, I don't only mean the person who's carrying the message, because the person who's actually sitting down and listening, whatever it is, to me, that person also, your perpetrator. Honey, it takes 2 hands to clap. Like, if the person who's bringing the information is stopped in the tracks right and dead, there won't be any transmission. You know what I mean? You come to yourself and you realize, okay, but I think I did something wrong. Now, how do I handle it? You know? You don't just be like,
sit down and let everything that the enemy is bringing to you to sow his discord and feed in your mind take over you, and then you start holding on to things like grudges and unforgiveness, and you find yourself like distancing towards people who actually love you, who you've not maybe even given a chance to explain themselves to you, because you've allowed the seed of gossip to just engulf you. You know what I mean? So like, I think it takes like confessing to yourself that that's an issue, and we're just gonna fix it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There are lots of verses, but like Mathew 12:36 say, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. I like that verse because there's a poem that I really like, and my mother used to have that poem stick up in the house, and I remembered memorizing that poem to the point where I even made a song on that poem. But it is that God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. This verse basically matches this poem so good. There are certain things you just cannot change. There are certain people you just cannot change. You just cannot change them. And on the day of judgment, they are going to give account. You need to understand. People will stand up before God. There coming a day where every knee and every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Whether you high and mighty, whether you low, it doesn't matter what your status is. You government official, you this, your celebrity, whatever, you will bow down. Maybe the same person who's bringing that story to you might bring it to somebody else. What can you do? Pray for that individual. There are things that God give you the courage to change as well. When God give you the courage to change things, when you can actually make a difference and say, hey, to that person, like, hey, I don't think that that's nice what you're doing, or I don't think like it's nice for you to be talking about this person that way, like that's our sister. Like, how many times have we done that? Like, how would it be so nice if we actually try to fix things in love? Don't you think that would be awesome if we actually try to attempt to fix things in love? But most times things actually just end up in grudges. Like, it just continues with a grudge. I started with a gossip that nobody ever addressed because nobody had the courage to do it. And God gives you the wisdom to know the difference. Because there's a fine line between the difference, and it takes relationship with the Holy Spirit to let you know when it's time to say something and when it's time just not to say something. No. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your bell notification so you can know every time I post a video. Oh, and if you're interested in this hair, if you are interested in this hair and this makeup look, you already know where you can find me, on the one before that. So I think I released this video already. You could check out that video. It will be linked down in the description. And guys, that is it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like. Catch you on the next one.